What's up, y'all? This is Talk Exchange, where we discuss topics to engage your mind. I'm Nick Thomas. Alongside me, I have Miss Karina D'Alessio. How you doing?
I'm great.
Good. Mr. Andre Hilton.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine and dandy.
Sharice Richards is not here with us this time, but she will be with us on the next episode. One of the things that we discuss a lot of is relationships, which I like though, because almost everybody is in some type of situation, whether it be a relationship that they're in, or an entanglement, or even if they're single, they're looking for answers, on possibly getting into a relationship, So one of the things that we're talking about today is, should a woman feel the need to pressure a man into marriage? Now, I know women kind of have that pressure more than men do, right? You think so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with you, Karina. Should a woman feel the need to pressure a man into marriage?
I definitely don't think so, no. When I was young, I did that. I was dating someone for a few years, thought that was the next course, and I definitely hinted around, yes, we should, and I did pressure him. I gave him so many messages that he did propose, and I'm divorced. No, I don't think you should, but I definitely think you should talk about it before your relationship gets serious. Like, are you both wanting to get married? Because I think most men don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Generally, yeah, and it's a woman who always wants to do that. You have to be on the same wavelength.
I think there's some pressure, like more pressure with women for some reason, like their friends or family is always like, when are you getting married?
Yeah.
And if you're with somebody for a certain amount of time, right, that you get those questions all the time. Like guys don't get that question, right? Dre, I don't think we get that question.
No.
I don't mean to speak for all men,
Well,
but I don't have my friend. If I'm with someone for like a couple of years, my friends are not going like, when are you getting married? When's the date? Nobody's doing that, right? So like, with you tell me.
Well, my situation was, it was like a perfect fit type situation, whereas people suggested it around me, but I didn't really care about getting married or not. It was important to her.
Yeah.
So I loved her, and she loved me, and I popped the question in old Montreal, and that was that. But I mean, if she didn't care, I wouldn't care either, right? So it was more for her. A lot of people that do get married are in love with the idea of getting married, or they're being influenced by some kind of outside force. Society says this is what you need to do. And that's why things kind of fall apart, right? When people are kind of pressured into it, a woman kind of wants to get married and all that, but don't understand the importance of the work that you got to put behind it, right? So
like after the big show, right?
Yeah, after the big show, right? One of the most important times of my life was when I got married. I don't think I've ever felt more important on that day, right? But it was more for her. So when we got married, and just seeing her walk down the aisle and crying, and seeing other people people crying, and just the way people were treating me, it was definitely a really, really good moment. And I see exactly why some women want to get married, to feel that and just that holy unity. But that doesn't really guarantee you anything. Right?
Well, does timing have anything to do with it? Because like if you're with somebody for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, do you get that thing of, what are you doing now? Like, where are you headed?
Yeah, I think you're right about women. All your friends ask you, your family asks you, oh, you've been together for 2 years now, when's he gonna propose? Women get so wrapped up in a ring. Like, how big is the ring? How is my ring gonna be bigger than my friends' rings? The wedding dress shopping, the actual ceremony. And yeah, I think that there's, when women are younger, I think that they do put a time on themselves. But I think this generation is a little different. I don't think the kids that are growing up right now are as quick to get married, because they seem to be getting married later in life. It was like our generation and the generation before of, you date for 2-3 years, you get married. It's just the thing to do. Yeah, definitely. But I think men do it for the women.
I think it's more
Generally,
I think it's more of an acceptable thing now,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, the marriage rate has decreased significantly, and so a lot of people kind of shacking up and stuff. And common law now, the time that you actually spend with somebody has decreased significantly. I believe it's down to 6 months now.
Yep.
So people don't really care whether or not they have that title. Like the title was really important more in the old school.
Yeah.
But nowadays things have changed so much.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think so many people are actually rushing into it.
Yeah, you have a point, but I think there's still that timing factor. So
Yes.
even in today's generation,
Yeah.
like they're still like after like around 3 years, they still want to know where they're headed. You know,
Yeah.
especially if there's no talks about it
Yeah.
this whole time, because usually the couples will have a discussion about it, like, yeah, you know, I want to marry you, yeah, this, that, blah, blah, but you don't actually do anything about it, right? But I
Right.
think when a man truly loves a woman and that's who he wants to be with, I think that now that marriage thing becomes his priority,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
But it becomes
you have
like
something to say.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, I know some women recently who have proposed to men because they were waiting too long for the men, and they thought, you know what, I am gonna take it in my own hands and I'm gonna propose. And after I propose, he still has to buy me a ring.
Yeah, but that's another type of pressure, though.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's another type of pressure. And I think when it comes to a man, I think they have to want to do it.
Yes.
They have to want to do it
Yeah.
because it's going to be problems. And the same thing with a woman, right? If a woman
Yeah.
doesn't really love a man, like there's nothing you could do to make her love you, no matter how
Right.
much money you have, right? So it's
Yeah.
the same thing with a man. Like you can't, you know, if he doesn't want to do it,
Yeah.
you know,
Right. And that ultimately could be a deal breaker too in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking one way and I'm thinking another way,
Yeah.
right? So if you're thinking one way and I feel uncomfortable because you're pressuring me by doing this, then what happens is the synergy just isn't there anymore. And it just kind of be like one-sided, right? Like people are always influenced by outside sources to control your relationship.
Yes.
By people telling you, oh, when are you gonna get married? And oh, you've been with this person for so long and all that.
Yeah.
Like if you really and truly love the person that you're with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you guys are game for whatever decisions that you two make,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't matter what anybody else, your family members, your friends, it doesn't matter who says anything. Ultimately, the decision comes from you and your partner.
Yeah. You
Right.
know, it's funny because even at my age now, you're right. Girlfriends pressure me
Yeah.
or ask me, well, when are you going to get married?
yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
that's what it's asking us.
I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as long as I am pretty straightforward with my friends and say, well, I'm comfortable with where I'm at and I like what's happening. If you are not the type to give in to that pressure, then great. But otherwise, your friends, they're on you.
Yeah.
They want to attend a party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you think age has anything to do with it? Because some women, as they're getting older,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could include the biological clock ticking, but some women, as they're getting older,
Yeah.
you know, 28, 29, 30, 31, now they're starting to have their own pressure in their own head
Yes.
on that. I need to get married. I've been with this guy now for 3 years or
Yeah.
so. This guy hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even an engagement. And sometimes I think guys get pressured into an engagement.
Yeah.
Because she's been asking. And now he tries to buy time by giving her a ring, right? And waiting for like
Yeah.
another 5 years.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
Thinking that will work. But now
Yeah.
it looks almost silly that you've been engaged for 5 years. Because usually you get
Yes.
engaged and within a year you start planning your
Yeah.
Or the
think-
promise ring.
right. So does
Right.
age have anything to do with it? Like,
Yeah, I think if women want to have children, our generation is probably, you know, told by their parents and family and friends that, oh, you should get married before you have kids. But I do think the generation, like my children's generation, I think it's different. Because I think they're okay to live together and have kids and not go the marriage route. A lot of them. That's what I've heard. But yeah, I mean, if you're 30 years old, you think your clock's ticking and you want to get married before you have children and yeah, stuff like that. But you know, I say to my daughter, you know, you don't have to do that if you don't want to do that. You can still have a good, happy, committed relationship, live together, have kids, and not get married. That's totally up to you. But you're not going to hear from me after you've been dating someone for 4 years, well, when's he going to propose?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's the people get too wrapped up in the party of it,
Yeah.
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
And then they don't realize the hard work after, and that's when a lot of
Yes.
marriages
What it
fail.
entails, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for some women, it's considered an accomplishment of being a real woman
Right.
to be married,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, like, how?
Well, I've been
How
a real
does-
woman twice.
well, is that? Do you think that's what classifies a woman as a real woman,
No.
that she has a relationship and is married?
No, not at all. Because you know what? You can look at someone and they're a married couple and they're not all it's cracked up to be, or they're not what you think they are. So I wouldn't say that that's an accomplishment unless you've got a solid, stable relationship and you're actually happy.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So when I look at people that have been married for 13, 15, 20 years and
Yeah.
they're happy,
Mhm.
that's when you should be celebrating your wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't celebrate it in day one because you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have been married for a while.
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Going there.
Good plug.
And when you proposed, at that time, did you feel you were pressured, or is that something that you?
I didn't feel like I was pressured. I knew I came out of 2 terrible relationships before her, and I didn't know that somebody could be so normal, right? And how we had so much in common, and how really, really nice, and the way she treated me with so much respect, and she was very ambitious, and you know, she was the type of person where she set things up in a way where I had to propose to her, because I don't know if I would ever find anybody even remotely close to her, right? She had all the areas kind of checked off, right? And she treated me like gold. So I mean, why would I like not give her what she wanted? Because she spoke on it a couple times, but she didn't pressure me about it, right? And none of her friends were married at the time,
Right.
and so it was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of the ushers at my wedding, and you know, I never thought in a million years that I would even get married,
Yeah.
right? Just the way things were kind of going, and but I know it was special to her, and you know, it became special to me, and we're still together, right, with 2 kids, right?
Well,
So-
that's what you wanted to do, right?
yes,
That's
I
what
wanted
you
to do
want
it.
And that's what I was saying. Like with
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
once they want to do that,
Then
it's their priority.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make that and build that family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, anything else you'd like to touch on that?
We might need to get Nicole on here for other women to know what she did to,
Oh,
to get you to want to propose.
You know, it's just a quiet humbleness that she
Yeah.
had.
No, that's great. I would
know.
think that if you love someone and you want to be with them forever, and that is important to you, then yeah, you do that. But you should have a discussion about, you know, are you wanting to get married? Am I wanting to get married? Okay, well, yes, then great. Then it's just going to be, you know, a couple years or whatever. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having discussions talking about the future, even when you're dating.
Yeah.
Because if you're
Of
not on the
course,
same
of course.
path and you're pressuring your guy, I did that,
Yeah.
right? If you're pressuring your guy to do that, or, you know, on him about it, and he does it because you want him to do it, then, you know, in the end, it's no one's happy. Yeah.
So that was in the movie, right? That think like a
Think like a man, act like a
Act like-
woman.
yeah, or whatever.
Right.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the what's your future goals
Right.
question.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that should be in the first
Absolutely.
little bit. Like you guys should have kind of the same thing. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want kids? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Right? Do you see yourself getting married? Do you want a family
Yeah.
in a couple of years?
Yeah,
yes,
you-
yes.
you gotta be the
so I
same.
guess, yeah, that's something that you're right. You have to discuss it in the first little
Definitely.
bit. You know, I
Yeah.
think so. First couple of dates at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. First couple days.
Why waste? Well, why waste time?
Why waste time?
Why
Just
be
get
in
right
a
to
year?
it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on the age too, right? Because you're not
Sure.
going to discuss that at 20 years
20,
old,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But nowadays, at our age, we would.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course, absolutely, right away, because not that much time to waste
That's
anymore.
right. That's on to the next if you don't see
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. So the next question I have is, would you end a relationship that you're with somebody? So say you are in a relationship and now you get to that point where you are getting married or
Yeah.
talking about getting married, and the guy even proposes. Let's go a little bit further. So the guy proposes to you.
Yeah.
Now you're all happy, you accept it, you say yes. But midway through, he's like, okay, so let's just sign this prenup real quick and we keep it moving. Would you break up with someone over a prenup?
I am in that situation right now, actually. So,
Really?
yes. So,
Do tell.
So, my guy and I have discussed the prenup. He brought it up, and because he's been burned in the past with his marriage and what happened when he divorced, and he's got a business, he's got a lot of money, he's got a house. I have a career and a business and my own house. And even though it might equal the same, I think that if you've got something, like you've got your business, you're well off, I don't think a prenup's wrong. I think I would sign it, no problem. Because I'm going to bring into the marriage and take out what I brought in, and he's going to do the exact same. It doesn't mean you love anyone any less because you brought up that topic. I think the people that have the problem with it sometimes is the person who doesn't have much. So if somebody wants a prenup, they want a prenup for a reason.
Yeah.
They're a person who has something,
Right.
and they're worried, or people. So there's always this saying when you break up, right? Oh, I feel differently now. So you might love the person and think that they're not going to take what you have and everything's good and everything's all equal. But usually it's the person I think that has the most to gain from it that would be most upset about it. Yeah, but I'd be okay signing a prenup. I don't want what's not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think age has something to do with that too, right?
Definitely.
Age and experience.
sure.
Right? So, I mean, you have experience. So,
Yeah.
you have experience. So, I mean, like, you think differently. As we
Yeah.
get older, we think about
Yes.
situations a lot
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dre, if the same thing, but roles reversed. If a woman said, sign this prenup, would that end the relationship for you? Or
She making more money than I am?
yeah,
Depends on, but if I love her
yeah,
and we're talking about marriage,
yeah,
if that's what she wants, we can do that,
Yeah.
right? See, in our situation, it was a lot different because we both came in and we were par,
yeah,
right? We both did the exact same thing. We were both getting paid the same type of money, but it wasn't about the money. It was just enjoying each other's company and all that, right? She decided to go to university and kept upgrading, and now she gets paid like way more than what I get paid, right?
Yeah.
But that ship has sailed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't even think about the prenup. But if it was another situation where I wasn't dating Nicole and somebody said that to me and I was making more money than the female, it would kind of make me feel a certain way, like, okay, so you're anticipating that we're going to break up. So it would probably make me feel a certain way. So
that's a good point, because that's how some people look at it.
yeah,
Like, you're already like,
like
thinking that we're gonna break up.
you're planning
Yeah, yeah.
already for something to happen.
yeah, you're not planning long term.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're not planning long term, and I don't really think like that,
Yeah.
right? I don't get into a situation for things to fail,
Yeah.
right?
I
So-
I get what you're saying with the prenup stuff, but I don't think that it means by signing it you're already setting yourself up. I think it's smart to talk about that and have something in place so that if something goes badly, hey, this was agreed on long before our emotions got in the way.
Right.
And I
So
think
I got a question.
Yeah.
Could you sign a prenup,
yeah.
say like 7 years down after you get married?
I don't think so.
So I mean, that's my situation. It just
Yeah.
that just wouldn't apply to me,
Right. Yeah.
because we both came in pretty much par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But do you have like stipulations that you can put in the prenup?
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be like you just leave with what you came with, right?
Yeah,
It
no,
could be like, okay, if
like
certain
it-
situation happens.
Yeah, if I was dating a guy and he made 5 million a year and I made 2 million, and he was like, well, our prenup is I'm going to take my money, you're going to take your money, but you're also going to get this much, or whatever it is. Yeah, you just have to talk it out.
I think it gets a little bit more complicated when you have children, right?
Yes.
And how close you are with your kids.
Definitely.
I wouldn't sign one of those
Okay.
if I have children involved.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
Maybe I don't think the way you do or other people do, but I just, children just make things a little bit more complicated,
Yeah.
right? So even if we do break up,
Yeah.
the common denominator there are our two guys, and we have to shape them and mold them and get them prepared for life's rigor, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot
Yeah.
kind of different in my situation,
Mhm.
or the way I think. So
Yeah.
Nowadays, a little bit different though with relationships, right? people are, like, the relationships, like you said, don't last as long anymore,
Yeah.
or whatever. So like getting a prenup is like a definite thing. Like
Yeah.
we need this prenup. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because I understand the whole concept of protecting your
Yeah.
like what you have or whatever the deal is, but even now, what, like if you don't have it, like some women are getting like paid, like, and I don't know if I might ruffle some feathers, but I don't know if I fully agree with, like, you know, some of the payments that these people
Yeah,
are
definitely.
making after
Right.
you're out of a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got in a relationship, now you're out of it, now you're getting $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
For the next how long?
The way I look at prenups is if you come in and you're a successful person and you just meet somebody.
Yeah.
So say you're a multimillionaire and you meet somebody, right? And men that have money and women that have money that get into relationships with people that don't have as much money, I think to me that would make more sense. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want to get into a situation. I've seen stuff with what's the girl name? Britney Spears
Yeah.
and Kevin Federline.
Right.
Remember how that went?
Yeah.
Well, it was terrible. The guy came in with nothing, right? He was like a backup dancer. You know, I don't know what he was making a year, but I mean, Britney Spears was like the biggest thing in
Yeah.
the 90s and the 2000s, right? And he totally took advantage of her because she never did a prenup for him.
Right.
So he pretty much took more than half of her stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I think when you're at a different financial level and you want to protect a lot of your assets,
Yeah.
and your name is branded, I think it's imperative that you do that.
Yeah, I think the
But
average
even-
couple that has jobs,
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't do it.
But even
Yeah.
even like Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're
Yes.
both like
Yeah.
100 millionaires, whatever, right?
They have a
It's two
prenup?
times over. I don't know if they have a
I
prenup,
don't
but
think so.
Well,
but
no,
I'm saying,
so.
like, even at that
Yeah.
level where both have that
Yes.
much, you still
Yeah,
probably
that's
want to
right.
sign a prenup at that.
Look what's happening with Dr. Dre.
Oh,
So he's
That's right.
getting divorced, and his wife wants like millions a month to
Yeah.
upkeep the lifestyle she had. Now, some people think she doesn't deserve it
Right.
because she didn't earn any of that, and other people say she was with him before he was famous.
Right.
So she went through all the growing pains of his business and looked after the kids and all that kind of stuff. But the amount of money that she's asking for a month, because you just mentioned $100,000 a month, it's ridiculous
So the
what she's
question
asking
is-
for.
if she wasn't with him
Yeah.
during the time when he was getting big,
Right.
would he still be able to run that company by himself? You understand?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
is her impact on him and the money he made developing this company, if she wasn't there, would that company not be there? Because that's when I would say, okay, yeah,
she's helped,
she does
she's
deserve,
building it, sure.
yeah, because she helped them build it,
Yeah.
right? But
I
if
don't know
she's
that
just
that's the
there giving advice, you know, and pushing paper and stuff like that,
Yeah, no.
I don't know,
No,
right?
I get it.
but if she was there before he was big,
Yeah, she
Too,
deserves
that-
something.
there's
I don't know
something
about how
still-
much she's
I don't
asking
know,
for.
yeah, I don't know about that,
The
but
relationship with Nas and Khalees, right?
yeah, that was
It was a nasty kind of breakup, but Nas was ordered to pay something ridiculous.
Ridiculous,
It was
yeah.
like $55,000 a month or
Yeah.
or something. And it was during the time where we're not talking about like 90s or like late 80s or 90s Nas,
Yeah.
where he came out with Illmatic and he was like on top of the moon. We're talking
Yeah.
about like 2010
yeah.
Nas, right? Where he wasn't making really music anymore. So he wasn't pulling in the same type of money. So for somebody to put in like the $55,000, $60,000 a month, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. But I
Right.
mean, what's he making?
And she fought for that.
Yeah.
Well-
I guess everything's relative
Yeah, I
to
guess.
some degree. I mean, that sounds crazy to us. But if the guy's making millions a month, what's 55,000 to him? I'm not saying I agree. I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
know
like,
if he was
what
making
is
the
it?
same type of money he was making in the 90s,
Okay.
right? Now I know the money's changed,
Yeah.
but he has it coming out with an album and
Yeah.
he might guest appears in the Belly movie and he does
Right,
these
I like
things.
that
I don't know how
movie.
much he got paid for that. But he wasn't making the same type of money. Anyways.
Yeah.
So a prenup is necessary.
Well, I mean, if you've got money to lose and something's up, yes. If you're the average person, the average couple, around the same, I would say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
I need it, but no,
But
don't
what
need it.
what if someone gets big in between that time?
Then you could get it then.
Yeah.
Sure. Unless you're married. I don't know how it works. I don't know.
So you're for prenup as well.
Yeah, if you're at a certain level,
At a
right? If
certain
you've
level.
established yourself already and you're making
Yeah.
literally millions and millions of dollars, and you want to kind of protect your assets, and somebody's just coming in where you already have this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, prenup. But it's different in a situation where you grow up with somebody like Michael Jordan and his wife. She was with him from
Right.
college.
Yeah.
So he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then he made buku money. And then they had this nasty breakup.
Yeah.
And she ended up getting something like $500 million and 3 of his houses and a whole bunch of cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So that situation,
that's,
that works.
That works.
Does that work?
but she was
To me, that works.
It was, I don't know. it was
Because that's a
deserving
long time.
because
I
she
agree
had-
with that when it's that long
Yeah.
of a time, way before
Way
someone
before you're
was somebody.
big. Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and then you're with.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about Michael Jordan and his wife, and you're talking about a basketball player,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, there's some other things that come with that a wife has to
Absolutely.
deal with, right?
Oh, yeah. It's in the benefit package.
Yeah,
right?
you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
there's
and I'm sure she dealt with that a lot of times, but
a lot of
everybody's
times.
kind of like got a breaking point, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know, and him not being around her all the time too kind of pushed them away too. So,
yeah,
you know,
and even around the kids and stuff like that or whatever.
yeah,
he's
but
gone all the time.
there's still
So
there's still
there's-
her and Michael Jordan's kids.
Yeah,
So she's doing mommy duties.
Yeah.
So she does deserve something, right?
yeah, definitely. She's
Right.
been around for a long time.
Oh,
So I
she's been
think,
around for a long time.
yeah. So I think there's some type of earning capability when you're
Definitely.
regarding the time that you've been together. And stuff,
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So prenup, if you guys are somebody, have a prenup for sure. I want to thank Mr. Andre Hilton, Ms. Karina D'Alessio, Sharice Richards. We'll see you next time. Everybody else, we'll see you next time on the Talk Exchange. Take care.